Hey guys, what's going on? I'm checking out this weather situation, this weather system that's moving up into Tallahassee right now, and looking at it on the radar. And I've been looking at it on some other radars as well. Um, so first of all, let me explain these zones in case any of you don't know what any of this means. So this big outer zone here, this is just like the outer rain band where there's no real potential for severe weather, but we're getting little spotty, isolated spots of rain and possibly some small thunderstorms in and out of here. And then as you can see in this weather radar here, you can see a lot of the places where we're getting the heaviest lightning at this system that is southwest of Tallahassee right now. And I've been looking at it and the reflectivity and the velocity radar as well. And even though on the velocity radar, it does seem as if this, you know what I mean, is it does kind of look like a supercell, but it doesn't really look like it's rotating. It doesn't look like a supercell per se. It just looks like a pretty strong thunderstorm with a lot of really heavy torrential rain and definitely some lightning that is possibly in there. And that is a new marine warning that just came up. So that just popped up right there. So they're looking at coastal waters. Um, Probably the waves in the coastal waters there are probably getting a little bit extreme. So they're just probably warning if you're out there on a boat or something, which I don't understand why you'd be out on a boat today, but I know a lot of fishermen work out there and things like that. Just be careful of what you're doing if you're out there. So that's what this big zone here is. A lot of the rain and just spotty thunderstorms and isolated storms here moving to the northwest. This area right here is your marginal risk zone that the Storm Prediction Center had put out today. So that is the severe threat for today, moving up into the portions of North Georgia and into South Carolina here. Now, the good part about this is that because of the way the atmospherics are right now, it doesn't seem like there's a huge window for severe weather today. It's definitely not zero, but it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it's going to be a massive potential for severe weather. It seems like they're going to have a lot of strong thunderstorms in this line, you know what I mean, moving with the front and everything is kind of keeping everything stabilized with the cooler weather that is coming here. But with the heat index from today, you know what I mean, and the heating, that's what's probably, and the moisture above all. I mean, dew points down here are already over 60. So with the heat and the moisture down here, it's causing a little bit of advection in this area, so that's going to cause some severe thunderstorms and things like that. And even though, so these two cells right here, they're kind of, it seems like they're kind of reacting off each other, you know what I mean? This one is obviously the bigger one where you're getting most of the lightning and the torrential rainfall, and this here in front of it is, you know what I mean, kind of, I wouldn't say it's separate from this system, you know what I mean, but it's going to be where a lot of the heavy rainfall is as well, where it's going to get heavier in this system here as it passes over just south of Tallahassee, it looks like. So this, isn't something to be overly alarmed about. But definitely keep your applications on your phones and everything ready for any kind of incoming warnings or anything that they have going on in there. There is a significant amount of wind shear. As you can see, the winds moving up from the south here, so that's going to cause some gusty winds. It's definitely, you don't need a tornado to have damage, so let's just be mindful of that. So, I mean, sometimes you can just get gusty winds that can do a lot of damage sometimes, especially if they're straight line, or anything like that, you can get a lot of damage. So it's something to be mindful of, but it's not something to be overly concerned with until later on into the evening hours and at night. Then they're going to see, exactly how this line on the coastal areas where it's going to seem more prominent for a little bit more intensive of the weather down here and as it moves into the northeast. So along the coastal areas is where you're going to get a little bit more of that weather. Up here, where we're looking at around Savannah, you're getting another thunderstorm system here, and it seems a little bit more like it's heavy torrential rainfall and a lot of lightning, it seems like here. So what I'm going to do is, let's bring up this. This is from the Storm Prediction Center here, but they have a good site about this. So I've been looking at the instrumentation on what is going on here, where you can see the fronts and things like that, temperatures, heat index, and dew points. So, you know, you can see the dew points around this area here already 66, 67, you know, and 60 over the Florida Panhandle. So there's a lot of moisture down there that's gonna kind of agitate things. The Cape levels that we're looking at here already at 1,000. So those are, you know, relatively high Cape levels that are moving through South Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. So that's something that just kind of, you know, overall goes to show that there is some destabilization in the atmosphere. Not necessarily anything that's going to, you know, create, that's not a guarantee that you're going to have overly severe weather, but it's a chance, you know what I mean? This is your wind shear, and as we said, we already know from this radar here that we have some significant wind shear that's down here. So that wind shear is going to be agitating things even more. With that being said, so you know, 50 knot wind shear, it's pretty significant to maybe get some thunderstorms spinning here and there. So that's something to be mindful of. Your supercell composite, obviously, this is the potential for supercells to form in that kind of in that environment right now. And this is, you know, the significant tornado parameter, and which seems to be pretty low right now. Not so much here in the Gulf, but this is probably going to stabilize a little bit by the time it reaches the shore. So it's not overly threatening as far as the tornado parameter. It's just the chance that, you know, tornadoes might be able to form. And it's not, like I said, it's not zero, but it doesn't seem really that large. This is the helicity. There's a lot that goes into this, but basically the same kind of idea as the tornado parameter. You know what I mean? The ability for tornadoes and extreme and severe weather to show up. It doesn't seem very prominent at this point, and the LCL height is seems to be getting more stable, but that's from the front here that's pushing to the southeast, and where the LCL height in this region where we're getting the severe weather right now is sitting at 500. So lifting condensation level is you know what I mean, another indicator of severe weather that's going to be occurring there. So I was looking at that, and then you know what I mean, on the reflectivity, you know, I was checking this and the velocity. So let's take a look at this here. So you can see here where the severe thunderstorm warning is. You know what I mean, that you're getting a lot of this. And by the way, the red is moving away from the radar, the green's moving toward it. So, you know, this region right here is kind of what they're looking at, because it looks, you know what I mean, almost like it could be a supercell, but really it just looks like a severe thunderstorm. There is some curvature in here that, you know what I mean, might be observable, that they might be looking at. A little bit of those curves and that curvature in there, but I don't see anything directly meshing with any of the green at this point. You know, these curves that are kind of swooping around kind of in an S shape, you know, these are little things to pay attention to, but it doesn't look like anything, you know, that's really severe at this point. It just seems like some very bad thunderstorms where you're getting these two cells that I posted in this page earlier. And those are what you're going to look for with some of the higher winds, some of the torrential rainfall, some of the things like that to be knowledgeable about. So just keep your warnings up, you know what I mean, and keep following the Storm Prediction Center and the Weather Service and see what they put out. But I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. Just make sure that you guys are prepared and keep your families safe. And that's all that we try to aim to do with these storms rolling through. And I wish everybody the best of luck, and just take care of yourselves, and we'll get through it one day at a time, all together. Thank you very much.